it was one thing they was talking about stuff one time.
They can at least ask.
I got a dick pic one time, and then I looked at it, and immediately the guy went, "Oh, sorry, wrong person." And I was like, "Fuck, that was you for me."
That was for me.
It was an accident.
He's triple platinum, doing 50 a week. Still, I stay close to the heat. And even when I was close to defeat, I rose to my feet. My life's like
Any influencers or YouTubers that you guys watch that you're still influenced by today? Or just enjoy in general?
I mean, there's gotta be something that would have started us doing reactions,
Right.
you know? Because like somewhere on YouTube.
That actually is a good question. What was
Well,
there?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, you were around then. I watched Torchwood Boy a lot,
Okay.
you know, because he was currently doing like a catch-up Game of Thrones thing. That's how I found
Got it.
reactions. I was like, oh man, I'd love to do those tracks. I watched them all, you know. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I kind of wish he would talk more like after, but it was just him, you know.
Right.
And you can only talk so much with
Correct.
yourself. And
Oh,
I was like, you know, I kind of do this every month, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, we watched
yeah.
through Game of Thrones when we lived together.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before. We watched through it, and we were talking about the episodes and stuff, and who the
Yeah.
characters were, because there's so many. You
Yeah.
get confused.
Yeah.
But
Any YouTubers, yeah.
Aaron and I's big influencers were Screw Attack, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Screw Attack,
Death
originally.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah, when we were doing our game stuff and whatnot, like watching Screw Attack, like they also had their website set up where you could put up your own content so that you could do before they got in with Rooster Teeth.
Got it.
And I always liked that, like being able to just type up your own review or make your own top 10 video or whatever. So like
Yeah.
that kind of really brought me into like YouTube and
Yeah.
stuff as a whole. Of like, oh, I love this content, I love this stuff.
And I think Giant Bomb also, because they sort of showed that you can have long videos and you can have like money coming in via subscriptions directly from the fans and make that a viable like way to run a channel
Got it.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big influence, I think.
a big influence for me early on in YouTube, just getting me on the platform, was Ryan vs. Dorkman, which was one of the first big lightsaber viral videos. Like they were the first ones to hit like 5 million views, you know.
That was a
And
long
it
time
was,
ago,
it was. I mean, at this point, it's like
Yeah.
it's a real long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well,
yeah.
in an indirect way too, Mark Hamill had his favorite fan film thing.
Yeah.
He said Ryan vs. Dorkman was like one of his favorite
Yeah.
fan films. He's like, lots of others in the lightsaber choreography competition are good,
Yeah.
but I think the original is my favorite.
Sure.
So then when he said that, we're like, we've heard so many times, he had to have seen our stuff.
Well,
you know?
the cool thing about that was that, you know, I had always loved that, and there was a couple other videos, those lightsaber videos that I like. And then when we started doing it, it got to the point when we won that competition, Ryan and Dorkman judged it, and we're talking about, you know, oh, these guys, you know, we see them enter every year, and, you know, and then eventually won it, and then we won it again 2 years later, and it was really validating that the people that I looked up to, like, I wouldn't know how to do a lightsaber visual effect if not for Ryan Weaver making a visual effect tutorial online and putting it out there for free, you know, and making a little flash animation of when lightsabers clash and putting that out there. It's like, well, I don't know how to make that. I'll just take hits, you know. So it was really validating when those two guys like were saying like, not only did you guys do it, but you probably did the best of all of us, you know. And that was really like, oh thank God, you know. That was really cool.
Yeah, because like I just was in school, majoring in something that I didn't know if I was going to do, working a job I hated. All I had was lightsaber fights, you know.
And you know that our one from 2010, it did so well that an audience already started to come to our channel. So when we started putting out reactions, you know, it definitely helped that people would come for that lightsaber fight. That it ended up doing so well that when you looked up lightsaber fight for like what 6-7 years, it was the first video that popped up.
Okay.
You know, and then people would come to the channel and then be like, oh, okay, I'm interested in watching Star Wars Rebels with them,
or vice
something
versa,
like
where
that.
you'd have someone who was watching our reactions like, damn, I didn't realize I recognized them from that lightsaber fight.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
So this is the third floor. This is the one that we did have everything.
The main room.
This is where we used to have
this is the old wave cave. We used to be set along that wall.
I remember. Yeah, I vaguely.
So the shot was right here, and our little table was right there, and that was the wall.
A lot of these buildings have apartments on the upper
I understand.
floors.
Yeah.
So,
It's mainly for like the business owners that have the shops and they can live above them.
Yeah, so like back in the day and stuff.
this spot now is our tabletop stuff like game night, like
And podcasts.
RPGs, our podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We've been working on the background for that. Swords. Later, what on?
How could that?
Any misrepresentations misconceptions that you often hear about yourself online that you wanted to take the time to clear up today?
I'm not Jason Momoa.
Okay.
Something Trident.
I thought the same
I don't know
thing,
how.
actually.
I get that a lot.
No,
I don't understand it.
Because Rick reacts, and because of who he plays in Game of Thrones, I thought the same thing,
I
actually.
am not 1% of that.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
I'm not bald, right, Shane?
What?
Damn it, Rick.
I ain't never said it.
I just heard nothing.
For me, it's like, whenever I criticize something, I always try to come at it from a different view than just like, I'm going to spew some hate at something. So I think that I get accused a lot of, oh, you just like everything. It's like, well, no. If you watch some of the stuff that I don't like, I'll go hard at it. But I come at it still from like, look, last 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, I didn't like it. But I'm not going to spit in the face of the professionals that did a great job here, and here. I just didn't like here, and here. And I'll come out and say, this right here I like, this I didn't like. But you still get a comment like, oh, you just love everything. What's the point of even watching your stuff if you're just not going to dislike anything? And I dislike plenty. I just think that I say it in a way where it's, not to say that, people that don't like something are being disrespectful. I'm just a little nice, but I'm not saying, I don't think I'm...
We're like polar opposites on that one. Yeah. What's the point of coming to see this, Akasan? You hate everything.
You definitely get at the heart of it with Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the new one's just been so much
Sure.
shit. You know what I mean? And
It's always really funny to hear like, oh, you guys are just shilling for Disney. I'm like, man, I wish I could shill for Disney. You're saying like if somebody came up and give you some money to do something, yeah, fucking Star Wars, yeah, I'll do whatever. That's just because I love it, and sometimes you gotta love your family even whenever it's the one you don't like, But with Star Wars, I will always fully admit I'm biased to it. So even stuff like in The Last Jedi, there's a lot of stuff I didn't like. But I still generally like the movie.
Okay.
And, there's a lot of people that really, really hate it. I'm not saying they're wrong, just that they might be wrong trying to convince me that I'm wrong.
There, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Misrepresentations? Oh.
James Clumsy.
I'm trying to name any misrepresentations that we've had.
Good. That's good, though.
Our
That's
haters
good.
are
That is
usually
very,
pretty correct.
Yeah,
I guess I
Usually they're right.
I don't hate women. I love women.
Yeah.
The main reason for this floor now is for streaming.
Yeah, this is all
So
streaming.
our podcast we stream live on Twitch. So we use this is where we do all our streaming setup stuff here. So we have this set up
Jesus
centralized
Christ.
so that it can use all the computers
Mhm.
for when we do like multiplayer computer games, and also so that it can reach the consoles and the TV and everything back there. When like this morning, Rick and Shane did The Last of Us, and they're streaming that.
This is exactly why you guys live in Ohio. Now I understand. All right. Yeah,
It really is. We couldn't have pulled this off pretty much anywhere else.
I mean, it's one of the reasons we haven't moved away, too.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine. Look at this. Yeah, this is crazy. So that's where you guys usually tweet me in the morning or the night or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, once Rick came on, we were able to do more stuff like this and keep it organized and learn how all the equipment works together. And yeah, we got the 3 stations just for this room.
Do you feel there's enough representation in Blind Wave? Do you think that more women should be at it?
In
Do you
Blind
think
Wave?
more women can be at it?
On YouTube or in here?
In-
like in our crew.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
the thing about it is that our crew is about chemistry, and me and Shane have been best friends for 15, 16 years.
Aaron and I the same.
I mean, a lifetime. To bring somebody in, like Calvin is like the most outsider of that group, but he's related to Rick,
Yeah.
It's the only reason he's
So
here.
he's here.
Rick literally is. Like Rick only recently joined us, but
But, I mean,
we have ties back to
we were a decade.
Yeah, we were
decades.
friends 10
Yeah.
years ago.
He helped us on Rivals.
Yeah.
He hit me in the head with that metal chain.
Yeah.
Did.
So
He was
And I
in-
lied.
And that's not really
He was in Bounty. You know?
I was.
Yeah.
Maybe our admin, baby. Check it out.
not on this channel. But that's hard to just play somebody into. Like, to be like, we want to have a more diverse cast. Okay, well, we got to reach outside of the Blind Wave wheelhouse to do that.
But I mean, we love bringing Melanie in.
Yeah.
We brought
Yeah.
Joy in before.
Yeah.
We brought Maggie in for a few things. We brought Lessa, his sister,
And
and
for-
for a few things.
Yeah, Rick reacts.
But like, I don't think we do that because they're women and we go, oh, we need women's perspective. It just we bring the people who we want to bring in.
Okay.
You know, because they're men, women,
yeah.
black, white. You know.
Even,
like-
even still with like me and Melanie, like now we're starting to get more into a better groove of her and me doing a reaction together.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for a year or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, even like someone that I've known for a while, like it's a different chemistry of like, okay, we have a relationship in the house. Here's a relationship on camera. Like get it to flow and be natural and make sure everyone gets voiced and everything.
Yeah.
We got that spiral staircase that goes up to the roof. You got roof access. It does shake, Agason. Don't be afraid.
Don't worry.
It shakes.
Oh, Jesus, it really does. Oh, you could do another arrow skit right here.
Once a year they have the thermal festival and they launch fireworks from the river right over here. So we'll stand up here and watch the fireworks. It's really cool.
Like we need a pulley thing.
Dolores.
That's the old armory. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
We do need a zip line. That would be awesome. I've never zip lined before.
Let's take some questions from the fans.
Sure.
Let's take a look. Is there a leader in Blind Wave?
No, there's not. You might be able to
Eric
make.
finally said it.
I've said it many times.
said it.
Here, let me be super honest on Akason's channel. There might have been a time in which case there was a Blind Wave leader in the beginning. Because, you know, it's no secret that, you know, I did a lot more work in the very beginning because nobody else could. I could take the risk.
Hell of a lot more work than me.
It was a lot of work. And when we started actually making some money, it mostly went to me, you know, because if I could go full time, then we could do a lot more stuff.
Right.
And then Aaron, I think, was the next one, and then Shane and Calvin.
Okay.
You know,
Is it split 5 ways
Legally,
now?
we are all equal
Oh,
partners.
yes. Yeah.
In
Oh,
terms of
yeah.
sharing
Really?
the revenue
Yeah.
and the risk.
Really?
It's
So it's a
all-
1/5
It's all
split.
1/5.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
So-
through YouTube and Patreon.
Yeah. We all live and die together, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
unfortunately.
Awesome.
But there is no Blind Wave leader. In fact, you know, it used to be like I was in every video because it was in my house. That's why I was in every video.
He might as well have just been in the video because he was there already.
I was already there. You know, if I wasn't in a video, I was just off to the side working or something. But we made a couple, you know, choices. Like, I'm not going to be an Attack on Titan because what is, you know, Shane like when I'm not there talking over him?
Supposedly really good.
You know?
People always say, man, like some guy had a comment like every video that Shane and Eric are in together, Shane's worse.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't feel that way.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's just a thing of like, because you get into the rhythm of like Eric leading the discussions.
Yeah,
or
so I'm just
whatever,
like, all right, shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm still
You just
getting
gotta
paid,
let
baby.
Well, I know too. Like back whenever we were doing like, because we were having conversations and Eric would like push the conversation a lot. I'm like, wait, I just want to say stuff.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes like he was leading Calvin, who didn't know Game of Thrones at all.
Mhm.
So he would be like moving through points and stuff like that, and then that kind of was the first time of doing some major reactions.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck for a while too.
Sure.
So there are times that like Eric will be leading the conversation. But a lot of times you just kind of let it happen.
But
Just to kind of
yeah.
move things along and stuff too.
You know, we as a company, we have like a meeting every 3 months where it's like, okay, here's what I think is going well. Here's what, you know, we'll go through everybody. Like Eric, you're steamrolling conversation sometime. You know, wait and look and make sure nobody has anything else to say before we move on to the next topic. And sometimes it gets to the point where I had to just not talk for a while and just be like,
That must
look
have
at
been-
Calvin and see what he's going to say. And eventually he started saying stuff, and it's like, okay, well, then we got
Nothing
it.
good.
And the same thing with Shane. Sometimes with Shane, we'd be doing a video, I'd be sitting there, and I'd look at Shane, he'd be like, say it,
Like, oh, yeah.
And then he's like, okay, and he's got to get into it. Because it can be a little easy, you know.
I understand.
Well, like, if you're
So-
talking, I'm just good. He sounds good, baby.
Yeah.
I still get paid. You know?
All right.
So, yeah, there is
you're-
no leader.
Got it.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to game nights. And then
That's
very
you.
clearly-
And there's
No, that's a game master.
Yes.
Not a leader. I'm a leader.
Am I your first YouTuber?
Yeah. Well, we had Antoine Bandaway stay with us for like...
He did Kylo Ren with
Yeah, Awakening, right?
yeah, that'll.
That's like the main question I always get about you guys when you're gonna do the next one.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Hey, we're always
oh,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Reckoning
This is
reaction.
the old kitchen that we did cooking with for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the other one better.
If you change the lighting a little bit, it would really be fine. Favorite reactions of yourself and other members?
Of myself, I really love that last Samurai Solo reaction I did.
Okay.
But, so check that out.
That's literally just yourself.
Yeah, reactions of myself.
It makes sense.
He has that. Or it's going to be the Stranger Things one of myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of these guys, I'm trying to think of reactions because there's things that happen outside of the reactions that are hilarious. Like Calvin stubbed his toe on a table.
That was one of the best things that
And
ever
it was
happened.
so damn funny. And one time,
We're
like,
so lucky the camera was recording.
yeah, there's one time where, you know, I go back there and take a shit in the
It
dark.
was the same day.
But I leave
It was
the door.
because of that.
If I leave the door open, I'm like just sitting there staring at it. Whoever comes in,
So I go to the bathroom.
and you hear it like really far away.
I'm walking to the bathroom, and I just open the door, and Shane's just sitting there in the dark, shitting, looking at me.
Like,
I go,
like-
"Ah!" And you can hear it from the back room, but if the camera's rolling.
Eric's like, what are you doing here?
What are you
The
doing
lights
here?
off.
So just random things around the studio.
like Aaron, like every time a needle comes on screen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like that's funny.
You know, that's weird. I get excited
Yeah.
when I'm by myself watching something and a needle shows up, and I'm like, and I look, you're not there.
I know.
It's terrible. You've ruined it.
I love the end of the Flash season 1.
Ah, yes.
When Eric was frustrated, just
I
got
was
up and
so
walked back.
pissed.
He was sitting back like a little kid, like just
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, like he was sitting behind, like, all right, guys, well, that was the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Eric's a little upset, like you know. 'cause,
Yeah. In terms of like, you know, like a serious reaction, I would say the Runaway Dinosaur of the Flash episode.
Okay.
It deals
Oh.
with
Yeah.
Barry actually, you know, sits and talks with his mom
Yeah.
in there, and I was currently going through my mom dealing with cancer, and that was really hard, and I was very emotional. But I'm, you know, it's kind of weird to be able to go back and watch myself be emotional in that moment, but I would put that up there with like some of my favorite times.
I think one of my favorite reactions, maybe of both of us, was 11:59 of Era. Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Yeah.
Like the end
With
of
Black
that,
Canary.
the end of that episode and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Like I remember, like it hit me really hard.
Yep.
That,
You especially with Captain Lance,
Yeah.
but you know, I could tell that was because you were a dad, you know? Yeah.
so.
Yeah, those were some emotional points. You know, Game of Thrones live is special. Especially like when Melanie joined
Yeah,
us and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was always really cool and you know, you'd get, you know, there's just so much heat with that reaction because you know people are going to come and watch and it's going to be a crazy amount of views, but I don't know. That was always really special for me. It was Game of Thrones live.
Calvin, whenever they ripped that guy's leg off.
That was
With the
great.
Red
Yeah.
Wedding.
Yep. Yep.
Jesus.
Like Calvin and the Red Wedding, they didn't say anything for like the rest of the video. Like,
Ah.
and Eric said, "Hey, why don't you sit down in here? Because it's probably gonna hit him." And
Oh,
at least we
yeah,
have a
dude, that was
conversation
terrible, yeah.
while
Yeah.
he's like stunned, you know. So like,
Yeah. Someone did a fast forward edit of that, and Calvin's like,
Yeah. It's like a time lapse. I hardly move.
and at one point he goes, the entire conversation because he was so destroyed. That
I
was
really
so
liked
good.
I understand. I
Torchwood
understand.
season 4.
The finale of
finale?
Torchwood was insane.
that was a really good reaction.
That
That
was
all of
a-
us, I think.
but-
Except for Rick.
Yeah.
One of my favorite reactions from one of you is Rick, and it's in Black Sails. And he just, this amazing scene has happened, and our characters are so down, and Rick goes, "How dare God keep wind from these men?" The way he said it was like he should have been on a stage, you know, and a motivational speaker or something.
Like,
He said it, and I was just like, "That's so good."
I want Patrick Stewart to do a reading.
Oh, that was a really fun moment.
All right. Yeah. Then there's your room, which I don't know if you've been in for.
A slap is coming.
I wanted to hang that up so right when you came in here.
I knew Zoom. Yep.
So yeah, so whenever people come over, we have a couple beds.
That's awesome.
Hang out at.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well, make sure you
that.
look in the fridge, dude. Got some refreshments in there for you.
Oh yeah.
That's easily taken.
Even better, yeah.
Easily taken.
Water is definitely appreciated.
That's pretty much it, bro.
Awesome.
All the
Back
awesome
down
movies
here.
and DVDs.
All these were sent to us.
All right, and final fan question is, how often does Eric pray to Bebo?
We all
Hold
pray
on,
to
hold on,
Gus
Frank.
a lot.
Bebo.
So we all pray to Gus.
we should pray to God.
If Blind Wave had a deity, it would be Gus.
It might be.
It would be. He's like, who the fuck's Gus?
Yeah, what the fuck?
He's one of our friends. Shane, mainly Shane's friend, grew up with them, and
okay.
Shane has always done this thing where he curses Gus's name. So
Damn it,
he's always
Gus.
like, "Damn it, Gus!" You know. So it became one of those things where every once in a while we'll say it too, and
He'll go to start his
It's like
car,
a
we'll
little
start
legend.
with Gus!
yeah.
We've been knowing since elementary school. Who
Got it.
Shane.
One of our emoticons in Discord is me praying.
Yeah.
And I was praying to Gus
He was.
during the reaction.
But you know what?
I didn't know that.
I will say though, I have gone back and watched it. The first time we see Bebo in that Vikings episode of Legends of Tomorrow, like I thought like that's when he's gonna have a heart attack. I'm talking about myself because I turned beet red and I'm down like this, and all you can see is this red spot right here. That was a pretty great reaction.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was so funny because there was something
Weren't you
about.
wearing your Bebo shirt earlier today?
I was.
You were,
I ended up
actually,
changing
yeah.
it because when I sit down and I don't have a desk, you can see some flab, and I don't want to do white. All right? As my mom used to say, white shows every role in the bakery.
No, I thought about that. We were doing a flash reaction, and then when we were eating, I was like,
Yeah, I changed it. I ended up
Bebo
changing
shirt,
it.
and I
Well,
was
I
like-
figured I should wear a Blindwood shirt.
well, then
Yeah.
I started thinking to myself, does he wear the Bebo shirt under all these other shirts?
When I eat, I take it off, and
he's got to take it off to be one.
And then, like-
one with the Bebo, you know.
Bebo hungry.
Yeah. Oh man, that's been a really fun thing. I wonder if we're gonna continue doing that in the next season.
I hope not.
I miss
That's another thing too about us is that as much as we can be accused of like, oh, they're too nice and stuff, man, we go at each other so hard to the point where if I really like something, Aaron will automatically not like it.
Aaron's like that.
That's why we like needles now.
We got an extra room here that we still figuring out what to do
It's
with.
gonna be a library.
How about doing a green screen room?
Hot tub.
I like the hot tub idea. I like the gravure model type of thing, model shots, you know. You guys ever think about expanding into the wavenettes?
Yeah, well, we had the blind wives.
I like the blind. That's the problem with the wavenettes. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the wave cave.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Hope we have a lot more to the vlog, everybody, because we're gonna be hanging out, going out to eat, doing reactions,
There you
doing
go.
stupid shit. Hopefully not getting arrested. We'll see.
It's, wouldn't be the
That's always
first.
the plan when we go out.
My focus this time, don't get arrested.
All right, boom. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on the show. Any final comments? Any things you want people out there to say? Any comments for me? Anything like that?
Well, for out there, I would say, I get a lot of, especially younger kids, around here. There's no like YouTubers that live around here except for us, and a lot of them are like, I want to do that. How do you do it?
Right.
And I
What's the
always need to
advice?
emphasize to anybody that wants to try something like this out, it's a huge risk, not just with money and all that stuff. It's time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you have to, at least in my experience, it's like working a full-time job without getting paid for it. You have to do something that you love. I love all this stuff that we do, and if I didn't, I wouldn't want to do it, and I certainly couldn't talk about it for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And be consistent.
But you also have to be careful because if you turn what you love into a job, you might
That's
end up
true.
hating it.
That's true as well. You don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Because there are some days, and it's stupid because I love what we do, but there's some days I come in like, oh man,
I gotta watch 5 shows a
The
day.
Walking Dead just came on. Now I gotta watch it. It's like, why are you complaining?
I started having that season 4 of The Flash. It was just like, there was
Alright.
a meme that was going around from, I think, Pinocchio or something, where the kids were going to the orphanage.
Yeah.
And it was like, time to go watch The
Yep.
Flash. Like that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a great job. But to do anything online and do it by yourself and to be able to count on yourself, you got to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Nobody, there's a few YouTubers out there, but nobody has done this without working very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
But I will say, we, for a lot of people out there that live in no-name town, whatever state, in America or around the world, we live in one of the smallest towns in the world, Like Marietta is small, no one cares, no one knows where it is, but we pull it off, So you don't have to be somebody that goes out to like, a major market to do this kind of stuff. You can do it by yourself, it just takes a lot of work. That's why I tell them. And for Akasan, I'd say thank you for coming over and doing this. 'Cause
absolutely.
You're right, this is
My
stuff we
pleasure.
don't really talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here, to make sure the world sees you behind the table.
And I really appreciate what you said in the beginning when you said, like, you know, there were people that were doing it, and then there was, you know, a new way of doing it. Like, you know, we did feel like we were forging ahead with some new stuff, and I, you know, it might be selfish or conceited of me to say that I'm enjoying other people doing the same thing because I get to.
What's the moment whenever Norman's like, you know, I see Blind taking notes, I'm gonna do that too, and they pull out a notepad, they're getting ready to do it.
Yeah, but that was because, you know, Serge from the Normies like would contact me and be like, you know, how did you do this, or, you know, like when it came to doing editors or finding his own, you know, studio space and stuff like that. Like, well, here's what worked out for us, and, you know, just kind of impart that onto him.
And that's actually, you know, I'm going to note that's actually so gracious of you to share that information because a lot of people would not.
Well, like
we're not it's not Blind Wave versus reaction channels, you know? Like,
yeah, there's no competition in terms of mines. And like I said earlier, with Ryan Weaver, who inspired me to do lightsaber stuff, he put all that stuff up for free. You would talk to anybody. He would go on to Skype and show somebody like, hey, here's how you do this. You know, this is an Emmy award-winning visual effects artist now these days. He worked on The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, you know? But he took the time to do that with me. Why wouldn't I do that with someone else, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great, guys. Okay, that's it. All right, I want to thank my guest, Blind Wave, for being part of the show. It was an amazing time to interview them and experience what happens behind the table. Like and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Akasan, my extreme apologies for delaying this more than the New Mutants release. I extremely apologize, but I hope you enjoyed. Special shoutouts to Blind Wave for their participation in this interview, and I hope you take a look at the other stuff that we have going on this channel. Exclusive interviews with awesome voice acting talent, gameplay, and especially those anime reactions on Patreon. We got a lot of stuff going on this channel, so I hope you subscribe, hit the notification button, and enjoy the ride.